Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Main Topic Media Podcast. It's your boy, Many Bands, man.
Hey, yo, what's up? It's your boy Spade, man. I just want to thank everybody for the support. I want you to keep on hitting that like and subscribe button. Remember, when I get to 200, I'm going to take my hat off. But not only am I going to take my hat off, but I'm going to let Manny shave my head bald. And that's guaranteed.
Literally, I'm gonna shave his head bald. I'm going to go get some clippers and literally be like, yeah, on the show. I'm going to shave it all off. Y'all all gonna see that, literally. And I want to introduce a special guest we have on the show, Lucas Wearsprada.
Hey,
How you doing out there, Lucas Wearsprada?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
I'm doing good, man. And I want to say Happy New Year to you.
You guys as well.
Man, how you doing out there, bro?
Good. 2024 has been off to a great start so far. Excited for what we got entail and what we're gonna accomplish.
No cap, man. And I want to let you guys know, Lucas actually has a vintage clothing store right there here in Des Moines, right there on East Village, right like close to downtown area. I want y'all to go check that out. He got all the drip, all the designer, everything. Y'all go check that out for real.
I don't even want to see the shoes that they got on.
Y'all definitely
pronounce it.
Man, it's that drip. It's that drip. How y'all say it out there, that drip. So
Drip.
I just want to say, how you been doing? How's the fashion been going?
Good. Just kind of been sticking to it. Got really back into thrifting, and it kind of helped me find a path and kind of show the direction I wanted to kind of open a store here and show what was possible, especially being in Iowa and all of that. And yeah.
So are you from Iowa?
Yep, I'm from Oskaloosa.
Oskaloosa.
Yep, it's about 60 miles southeast.
How many people in your class?
What was that?
How many people was in your class?
I think like 130, but I think our class was kind of bigger, so I'd say average like 90 to 150.
For real? So it's a very small town here in Iowa.
Yeah.
So how do you go from a class to 150 to PRADA? Like, how did you start? Who did you work with? Like, tell me your story, man.
Kind of just really started back, I was like 13 or 14, and I worked all summer because I wanted a pair of Jordans. I just remember
everybody wore Jordans.
I wanted a pair of Jordans, and I remember a couple of my friends had pairs, and I didn't have a pair yet, and I knew I needed Jordans. So I worked all summer. I think I saved up, it had to be about like $380. So I had enough money for the shoes, and then to have some fun for the rest of the school year. You know, you're being 14, 15, that'll go a long ways. And my dad took me up to Shields, and when we got to Shields, lucky enough, because times are different now, but there was a fire red 4 on the shelf and a military blue 4 on the shelf. And I remember like sitting there thinking, like, how the hell am I going to choose?
Mm-hmm.
And eventually
Real quick, before you say something, what do you think he picked? You think he picked the fire or the military?
Fire.
I'm going to say military.
I grabbed them both. And I remember I couldn't decide. I was sitting there with both in each hand. I think we were there for like an hour, and my dad was like, "We need to hurry it up." And I was just like, "I'm gonna buy both. I'm gonna spend my whole summer earning on both these shoes." And I remember I wore the fire reds every day. I'd wear them for PE. I'd wear them for lifting. It was my shoes. Like, it was my only shoes, so I'd wear those. But I never wore the militaries for it took me like a year, because I remember seeing like each wear. I feel like I could see it.
That's how I know you're a real one.
And then so I was like, I can't fuck up the militaries like that.
Yeah.
And then a year later, trust me, the militaries got treated the same way every day. And so, yeah, they're both long gone. But that's what really started it.
It was like you fell in love?
Oh, yeah. Right after that, I was at Sports Page every weekend trying to get the newest retro, meeting sneakerheads. I'd say it was a lot more like tight-knit community then. It was harder to kind of find your people, and I guess your people were kind of the people you're camping out with every weekend. And we had Sports Page at the time, and there's Sports Page in Pella, Marshalltown. I know there's I think Altoona, and they got every release. And so I was usually there with a couple Pella guys, some William Penn guys, and then is me and a couple homies just the only little kids there, honestly. Like, I remember one year, what release was this? I'd say maybe Bread 4s. It was a winter release, but my mom dropped me off because I couldn't drive at the time. I was 15, so my mom would drive me up to Pella at like 2 in the morning and just drop me off with a lawn chair. And I just, and with a pocket of $160 so I could pay for the Jordans. And it sucked because like all the older guys were like sitting in their car staying warm, but I didn't have no car, and I was just like sitting there shivering, like freezing. I remember one time I asked one of the Penn guys, because I just like knew him from the release. I was like, "Yo, my mom's not willing to get me up to the drop. Like, you care if I ride with you?" And he's like you good, but like there's gonna be weed smoke. Like, I was a 15-year-old kid. I'm like, I don't care, bro. Like, I'm just gonna go get in line. I just need a ride to get the shoes. Like,
And this was at 15, guys.
yeah, 15. And then as soon as I turned 16, it changed. I was driving to every release, trying to resell a little bit. I think at 15, I drove to Subsect for Tiffany Highs, and I drove on my school permit. And it ended up being a blizzard that night. And they came and opened the shop at like 1 a.m. because they're like, somebody's going to die out there. And I remember like, I was just in that shit with like a t-shirt, hoodie, jeans on, like just freezing my ass off for some damn shoes. But it started out as shoes, and then I realized I needed a lot more to match with the shoes. And then once I kind of got into clothes and fashion, then it just was just completely indulged.
When did you realize that your eye was like different? Like, that you knew like this goes with this, that goes with that. Like, I could do this. Because you also design.
Yeah,
you also design. So
that's a good question, but I'd say like it was around that high school point, because I kind of realized that like,
at the same time?
yeah, nobody else cared about these Jordans and stuff like that. Nobody else really wanted them at the time. Like, it was a real, if you know, especially like on how to get them too, because if like there's Chicago resellers that were back then would just loop Iowa after a drop because enough shoes would be sitting, and take them back to Chicago and sell out at OG sneaker events and stuff like that. And so that's kind of like how I realized like I was in a different lane, and like focusing on stuff that like kind of had like more materialistic value, I guess. So like resell, and like, oh, if I know how to get my hands on these, but some people don't. If someone's willing to give me like $50, that makes my pair cheaper. If I can get 3 pairs, I get my pair for free.
Yep.
And that kind of started like the whole like entrepreneur mindset, and like how I can resell. And then I'd say that kind of showed like I was in a different lane. So like Supreme came up right around that. I was in high school. I remember like my mom would let me skip class because I could make $500-600 off of a Supreme drop just botting it. And like, I wasn't even really bots at the time. It was just like an autofill thing. And I'd have 4 laptops in front of me and just like right click or just click, go.
One of those?
Yeah. It's just like, boom, got them, put them right on Grail, sell. And then
That's great.
my mom would be like, all right, you got to get your ass back to school. They're calling. Like,
Shout out to mom.
Shout out to mom.
Mom supported the habit early, but she
did it.
Yeah, I mean, like,
So you started out designing your own designs, drawing and stuff like that?
I wouldn't say like as much like drawing and like designing. I've always kind of been like more appreciative of kind of other people's designs. If that makes sense. So kind of like a curator or a collector or an archivist, as you could say. So like I've always like bought pieces in my mind, like even back when I was 16, like buying certain shoes, I would never wear them with the mindset of like, oh, in 20 years, these are going to be something special. But just with the way, just being 15, 20, like you end up selling stuff early. You never hold on to it as long as you think or as long as you want to. But I kind of always had that mindset when it comes to certain things. And
who's some people's designs that you appreciate?
I mean, I guess it can go all the ways. We can start with like Tinker Hatfield. The first time I saw the Jordan 4 was like, it changed my life. I'll forever say it.
That's crazy. That's my least favorite Jordan. Go ahead.
That's crazy, actually.
My least favorite retro.
That's still crazy. Least favorite retro on a 4 is crazy. But I'd say that, and then going into like just like I guess the evolution of it, like Supreme. I loved like certain logo rips and like uh, just taking stuff from like even movie posters and like
Mm-hmm.
being able to recognize that in a with it just saying something completely different. I always loved that, like
Yep.
references from movies, music, just stuff that you feel like, especially just being in Iowa, that not many other people were like really promoting or
Yep.
it wasn't being shown off or even seen. So like you just kind of
And if it was seen, it wasn't real.
yeah.
Say that.
So did you tap into other countries and graphic designers and fashion designers out there in other countries
Yeah,
outside of the
so
United States?
yeah, actually, I studied at London College of Fashion and got certificate in fashion photography and then creative direction. And that that happened because I went to Iowa State, my well, fresh out of high school, and I learned that they had like a study abroad program, and the representative from London College of Fashion came over to Iowa State, and I like met her and everything, and I asked her like, what do I have to do to get over there? And she was kind of all, she said nothing, like let's get you over there. So I had to go talk to people at Iowa State because typically they weren't like letting freshmen study abroad. You have to usually be like a junior or senior, and so yep, upperclassmen or whatever, at least get done with your gen ed. It's like be working on your actual degree or whatever. And I was like, no, I need to go over there now, and kind of applied, got accepted, and then as soon as I got over there, I noticed all the American students were kind of like separated with like the European students that are like going here for actual school, and I was like, I want to learn what like the people that are going to the actual school are learning. Like I don't want to take these study abroad classes.
Yeah.
And so I talked to them, and then that they allowed me, that changed it from being a study abroad to certificating, and then I was there for 2 semesters, so a whole year instead of 3 months.
So you peeped that instantly. You knew what you peeped that. You knew that instantly. That's cool.
Yeah, it was just being at like I guess Iowa State just wasn't the right fit for what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I'd say I wasn't like, again, like there wasn't teachers or even anybody really into the same stuff I was, and like I was, I guess, just like in my own lane, like wanted to focus on my own stuff and like the streetwear kind of niche.
How long
Right,
did it
right,
take you to
right.
notice that?
Probably just probably just around the same time, like high school. I said I learned a lot about myself, just kind of having to find my own hobbies, just finding my own like kind of brands. Being out here in Iowa, like I mean, finding Supreme in 2013, 14, like right when they have an online shop was like that. Like Supreme's always going to be something because of that to me. Like, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's one of the most recognizable streetwear brands, if not the biggest. So that's just something like that.
So let me ask you this, okay? So that actually brings up a great question because you've been on the scene since then, 2013, 2014, even before that. And it's like fashion for men is acceptable now, but back then it was kind of looked upon. So what made you take that hump? Like, what did you go through? Like, with all that?
That's a good question, but yeah, I'd say a lot, like just kind of learning to not care what other people think.
Right, right.
Like
Yeah.
the biggest
Sure.
thing I'd say, like I kind of have to tell myself a lot this, but like I always say, like you're your biggest hater. Like
Yeah.
nobody is gonna comment what you're thinking in your head of why you don't want to do that or why you don't want to like post that or go out in that fit. Yeah, they might be thinking something completely different, and it might like hit some strings, but I promise you, like it's not as like mean as the shit you're saying to yourself.
It's not
Because like
detrimental.
yeah, you're dogging yourself. Like, and I do it too, and it's just a big thing of like learning to kind of get out of that box. And like I still have times where it's like, oh, wearing this shit like in Walmart or like Hy-Vee, and people are just like, you can tell like people are like saying shit, or like you can hear people.
You found your confidence, or what makes you confident.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And it's just confidence and like yeah, confidence of knowledge, like knowing the stuff, knowing the design, knowing the reason behind it. Just like there's a lot more than just like what meets the eye. And
So Okay, let me move on a little bit. So when did you get your first break? Like, who was the first person that you met in the industry that you got to work with, and how?
So I'd say there's like two major ones. So first person to ever like recognize or like notice what I was doing, especially being in Oskaloosa, was Tyler Sash.
Tyler Sash.
Yeah, I remember getting a DM one day, and he was just like, "Where is a kid from kid like you in Oskaloosa getting these stuff?" Like, I was wearing like Supreme, and like I think I might have been into Undercover Hood by. I remember back in his house in Oskaloosa, I had this picture on Instagram, and it was high school, so 2012 to 2016, between there, before senior year of high school, so like 2012, 2015, and I'm in like Hood by Air on his like on one of his spiral staircases, and I remember like people commenting like Mike the Ruler, like questioning like one of the early influencers who's now like doing stuff for Balenciaga and stuff like that, just like
Like the ruler, yeah.
yeah. And so it's kind of funny just looking back to like seeing like how into the stuff you were and how into like the people that were into it that we looked up to, like what they really watched and turned this whole thing into. And it's kind of crazy because I feel like I guess I had, especially being in Iowa, I had a lot of internet friends, people I just knew over the internet, and that were into the same things as me. And it's kind of crazy to look and like I feel like just even niche people that I talked to maybe once or twice, but like I look over and like person I used to FaceTime, Armin Andikin, now he's in Filthy. Like, when the fuck did that happen? Like, I don't even know you made beats, bro. Like, I remember, and he was FaceTime me from his parents' pizza shop. Like, we was just talking about ass pizza stuff. Like, it's just funny to see. And then second of all, Kofi, the Unknown Vlogs, or Icy Kof on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first, like one of my first friend, well, probably my first friend from London. And I just met him because I went to the Supreme drop over there because I'd never been to an in-person Supreme drop before, and I didn't even want to like buy anything. I just more so wanted to observe and see what really was going on because I've heard it's a madhouse, and it really is a madhouse over there. Like,
don't you know my manager?
Chauvin?
Siobhan?
Yeah.
You know
Well, I don't know her.
You know
I mean,
Siobhan?
not
Oh,
one-to-one relationship.
Okay,
Like, I
okay,
can't shoot her a text or nothing. But like, when I was in London, Siobhan, she was doing a lot of stuff for like Places Plus Faces, and oh yeah,
What
and
does she not do?
exactly.
Shout out to
And
Siobhan. My bad. Shout out to Siobhan. Like,
Siobhan.
check out her Instagram. What's her Instagram? Siobhan Bell. Check her out, man. For real.
one of my homies at the time that I met, like after I met Kofi, he introduced me to so many more people, and I met so many important people and figures of London. And
Of London.
yep, and Everett Watford at the time was like doing all the Places Plus Faces stuff, and he kind of, I think he worked with Siobhan and stuff like that, and I was really close with him. So like, I think I was at the Places Plus Faces, like one of the Red Bull parties or something. I think she was there. Like,
Yeah, this nigga saw her comment on one of my pictures. And he was like, "You know her?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's my manager, bro." He's like, "What the fuck?"
yeah,
You know what?
no, she
You know
was.
what's crazy?
bro.
It seems like those who get where they want to be end up putting themselves in the right positions, but it's always by accident. But they're always in the right place, so
Well,
it's a coincidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're always
it's,
there.
I agree. I
So
think
it's not
that
luck. It's calculated.
It's calculated.
no,
Educated guessing.
that it's more so
Yeah.
these people and like this circle that people like look at and like look from an outside point of view of like this influencer circle, or like this produce, like it could be applied to anything, but we'll just say influencer. But they are fully committed to their craft, which people are like, oh, that means like if I want to be that, I don't have to have a job or whatever. No, that means you have that job, but every hour outside of that job, you're focusing on your craft.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
you're putting everything into it, whether it's your lifestyle, it's you wake up,
Yes.
sleep about it, you're at work, you're thinking about it. Like it's because that's something when I was young, I wish somebody like smacked into my head, was like, you can still have a job and do shit. Like you don't have to build this dream from nothing.
Yeah.
Like you can still go throughout the day and whatnot, and like I guess there's 24 hours in a day. You can work 6 hours and still work on your craft for 12 and sleep for 6.
I know.
I think that's 24, right? Yeah.
So
something like
Yeah.
that.
Might add 2 extra hours in there, but fuck it.
I want to ask you
Fine
this,
time.
Lucas. So who are your top favorite fashion designers?
Designers.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say obvious one up there would be like Rick Owens.
Yeah.
Love anything Rick does, and it's always so progressive and actual. It's fresh every year and always something new, which is always cool to see. One of my favorite, I guess, favorite designers is Eddie Slimane, which is currently of Celine, but he did Saint Laurent, Paris, and then Dior Homme in the past, and both of those are some of my favorite collections. I've really always kind of like that, like it's not in at all right now, but I do always like a tight silhouette and like tapered clothes and stuff like that. Not that baggy's wrong, but I love them baggy right now too. But
Yeah.
just something about like a good fitting stuff with a good pair of boots, just stuff like that, just can't be beat.
But you baggy right now.
I know that's what I said. I like
No.
that's what I was saying.
It's fresh as
I'm ready
fuck.
for it to
He
switch
fresh as
over.
fuck.
Ready for it.
He
to
definitely
switch over.
fresh as hell. Y'all should see. But yeah. So did those guys inspire you as a kid?
Oh yeah, for sure. And like I, especially like in that high school era, just with the free time that I had, that's why I kind of like when I say work on your craft, whatever you might wonder what that is, but like just listen to yourself deep down because I was researching the things I needed to be researching at the time and I didn't even know it. I was putting myself ahead of the game before I even recognized it and before even certain things were mandatory in the game, if that makes sense. Like,
I feel like that's relatable in all, like people that are chasing something or fall in love with something. They don't even realize what they was doing before they realized what they was doing.
I'll take it
Exactly.
further. I'll take it further.
Exactly.
I'll take it further from chasing the people who accomplish something. It's always like they was doing this, but then when they look back, it was crazy. I was doing this, or it's like Juice WRLD used to say that I knew I was different because when people was listening to Future, I was dissecting this and this, and it's like, yeah, nigga, you was different, nigga. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying the same thing. Hey, let me guess your zodiac sign. I'm gonna guess it. Aries.
Nope.
Aquarius.
Nope.
What is it?
Leo.
Leo. Oh. I'm a Leo like a lion. Lion, king of the jungle.
Yup.
So where do you see your business in the future?
The future. How long in the future?
Like it could be 2-3 years. It could be
2-3 years. 2-3 years. I think definitely want to get our own spot. Should be opening some new doors here soon. Just want to grow. We just got our first retail brand in the store. It's Brigade. It's based out of Brooklyn, New York. I met the owner, Aaron, while I was living out there, and he's just somebody said it in another podcast on Throwing Fits, Bradley, but he is a student of the game, and that's the best way to put it because this man truly understands why and where and what is happening in every single point of the streetwear, even fashion world, at like one time, and is always just one step ahead. And it's really shown for the brand he's built, the longevity it's going to produce. And I'm honestly just like honored to have it in our store because we're the only other retailer besides Concepts and then another small like vintage store similar to us in Boston. So
can you tell me more about your business and how you started this business?
Yeah, of course. So I kind of always resold online, starting with sneakers, and when I'd grab an extra pair from a drop or something, just put it up, pay for my pair. And then Supreme drops, I started kind of realizing, oh, there's actual money to be made. If I get 3 or 4 of these. And then going back to, I guess, what got me into the thrifts was just the love for fashion, and I just wanted to find new clothes every day. In my mind, I kind of have a shopping addiction, and I want new clothes every day. Like I get so tired of something and so quick. And so I was thrifting just to find new stuff to wear every day. But eventually I stockpiled enough where I was like, I'm not going to wear all this. Some of this might be worth some money. Like, let's see if somebody else might want it. And I would just like put it on eBay or something, and slowly stuff would sell. And I guess thrifting I wasn't as like big into reselling wise until I came back from New York. Up until then, it was a lot of Grailed and Supreme and designer and kind of like buying off of Japan and just steals on Grailed or Depop and relisting it and selling a lot more designer. And I guess the higher price point kind of interests me. I feel like you sell something for more, you feel like you're making more money. But after I came back from London, I got into the thrifts just because I didn't have much funds. And then that's where I one day I found this leather polo jacket and it was like $18. And I was like, this is real leather. It's polo. This is worth more than $18. So I buy it. I put it on auction on eBay, and I think it sold for like $250.
What?
And that's when I remember that day. It was I need to be in those thrifts every single.
$232 return.
Yeah, and I was like, I need to be in those thrifts every single day.
No cap.
And
no cap.
I was for about 3 or 4 years straight, and it just built enough inventory that I had a rack at the store I'm below right now in Stoked, and I had just a rack of vintage, and it did well enough for a year that we decided we're going to open up the basement. The basement did way better than we could have ever imagined. Our first year open, and all this stuff that's about to come flooding in is real exciting, honestly.
Like literally stairs though. Like it didn't just jump to that. You had to climb to that.
Oh yeah,
Crazy.
100%. It's been something that
You got an eye for it because it worked though.
mm-hmm.
How'd you get your name?
Lucas Wears Prada.
Yeah.
So there's a band called The Devil Wears Prada, and
Yeah.
that was like my favorite band in like middle school, and I've had this since like middle school on Tumblr. I think my Tumblr was Lucas Wears Prada.
You knew what was up.
It's
Tumble?
I was on I was on Tumblr.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did you do sports? So you used to tumble.
No, well,
No,
Tumblr is like a blog.
Tumblr.
It's
Hey,
like it's so before we had
Hey.
Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, we had Tumblr.
Hey, shout out. Hashtag Sam Williams 2014. I'm a Tumblr boy.
Oh, you have one?
Yeah, hell yeah. I was a Tumblr boy. I had
It's like so
I
we had
was- I went
MySpace
viral.
and then Tumblr.
Oh, I had to. Yeah.
Tumblr's OG. If you know, you know. Like
If you know, you know. If you don't, you know.
yeah, no.
So did you tap in the music scene anywhere?
So-
Here, Des Moines?
Yeah, Des Moines actually. Actually, it started kind of over in London. I was just being around Kofi. He was just starting the YouTube video. I remember I met him by asking him who he was filming for. While he was outside of the Supreme drop, we were the only two people with cameras there, and he was doing stuff for his YouTube video. And at the time, I worked for Grailed, and I told him I was shooting for Grailed. I wasn't. I just was there with my camera, but it was enough to like earn some respect in his eyes. I was a moderator on Grailed, so I could be like, "Oh, look at the backside, real quick," to show my cards or whatever, show I'm legit. But I was not shooting for anybody besides myself. But that same time, he's like, "There's a pop-up shop across London. Do you want to come with me and take more pictures?" And I was like, "Yes." And then after that day, it's on YouTube. You can go watch it on his vlogs. I was kind of just wherever Kofi was going to be this next 3 to 6 months, wherever I was, just because it was always where whatever was happening, what was happening. There's a store called Edger. Shout out Edger. That store kind of really gave me the blueprint of what I want my store to kind of be. They would empty it out, let people throw parties there. Like it was really all for the culture and all for the youth. And seeing that in London and what it did for me, being able to just kind of do something every weekend and be around creatives and be around designers and be around these people that are networking and just building up and perfecting their craft, just showed me what I really want to do. And I think I wanted to bring that back to Des Moines. So that's where my idea of I need to get a store here in Des Moines.
Well, that's a great point. So is that what you want your store to be?
Not exactly.
What do you want your store to be then?
So essentially just kind of our Golden Eye, I see it to grow in the future to a lot more retail. We've been in talks with a few more brands and slowly grow that out. And then eventually I just kind of want to, if it's wanted, or just bring what kind of the community and the culture want to Des Moines, like whether it be designer brands or streetwear brands. We've like the highest end brand we have here is like Coach, maybe a Coach outlet, and like people have never got that experience of going to like a Dover Street. Yeah, nobody's like Von Mar sells pre-owned Louis Vuitton, but like
Walmart's
Pre-owned.
yeah, but like
Walmart
I mean
dealers.
it's all vintage. Yeah,
them there
like it's
stairs.
yeah, exactly.
Borderline the stairs.
I heard-
But
Yeah. So I heard you mention New York.
Mhm.
Was you doing music out there or fashion or both?
so I guess both. I moved out to New York. When was that? That'd been like 2018. Yeah, about 2018. It was about 9 months, or it's like 6 months. But I went out there and tried to get kind of tapped in with music and whatnot. I really went over there expecting it to be kind of exactly what I did in London, where I went over there, kind of got tapped in right away. But New York's a different animal. It can eat you up, spit you out, and it's a crazy place. Like they don't play there, and cost of living is serious. Like
Man, it's like Cali.
oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
For real?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's like
It's like that.
It's like
it's
Cali,
like three
it's like
bands.
Cali with rats.
Smaller.
Yeah,
How
three
long?
bands for a apartment this room, and you're sharing it with 3 people.
And
Like,
with rats.
How long was you down there?
it's about like 6 months, I'd say.
6
But
months.
I got to meet a lot of cool people. I got to do a lot of cool things. I got to go to Rolling Loud Miami as an artist, which was a pretty life changing experience.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of like it was really cool to see.
How'd you get to go there?
So I was
Can we talk about how you got to go to Rolling Loud Miami?
Yeah, so I was working at the time for an artist named Marty Baller, and he kind of just went down there for like just kind of brought his crew, I guess, and I was part of that. And then we got to go down there. I actually got to while we were down there, I called Christian and was like, because we needed a photographer or something. So I called Christian at the time. I was like, hey, Marty said you can roll with us for like the weekend if you want to come shoot Rolling Loud. I think it's like mom and dad. Yeah, his mom and dad drove him down to Rolling Loud, and like he literally rolled with us with his old like VX camera and shit like the whole weekend, and it was a crazy weekend, one of the best weekends of my life. But like
Oh yeah.
that was one of the biggest things come out of that, and like gotta see a lot of stuff, open a lot of doors. But that New York experience kind of showed me that I want to stick to my own thing. I don't really want to be a part of kind of someone's project, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or like I want to be full control and
You
kind
want
of
to do you don't want to feel obligated.
Yep, exactly. I want to do what I believe is the right thing, like right thing and right way to do stuff. So it really showed me that like I just got to come back to Iowa, figure out what I want, and then make it happen. And that's kind of what I did with the store.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So tell me, hold on real quick. Let's talk about some personal life shit. Like, so how's life going? Any kids?
No, I do have
Any
a
girl?
girlfriend of 5 years, and yeah, we got a house together and everything. She's amazing. She helps me with so much, and she does a lot of the behind the scenes stuff for GoldenEye, like taxes and stuff. I've always said I'm just good at selling clothes. I don't like anything else that comes with it.
So would there be any little PRADAs?
Probably not
Little
for a
Pradettes?
while.
Little PRADAs?
Not for a long time. The biggest thing, we kind of GoldenEye's the baby right now, so it's kind of build that up and focus on that. And but no, we'll have like we're gonna have a great future, and our focus right now is just completely on GoldenEye, and I think in the next year or two lots gonna change, and
Oh yeah. No, hell yeah.
Yeah. I'll definitely focus on getting married. That's
Guess what,
one
bro?
thing I get to hear about.
Guess what? I got 2 of them.
You got 2?
2 ain't impossible.
But I want to go back to the Des Moines music local scene.
Yeah, we never
we
got
was
there.
we was talking about that. So how did you tap in?
Okay,
to
so
here?
yeah, this is a funny story actually. So I was coming to the end of London, probably last like 2 weeks, and after I'd say like my last month there, one of my friends from high school came to stay with me for kind of last month, and we did more of like that Europe traveling, kind of more. I did my tour shit. I didn't really do any touristy stuff. Like I remember classmates like asked me if I want to go to like on a trip with them or whatever. I was like, no, I'm going to Supreme Drop, or I'm going to Red Bull Places Plus Faces party. Like
Oh, yeah.
I got plans. But last month I kind of did my traveling and whatnot, and then I kind of realized, oh no, I'm about to go back to Iowa. I know I'm going to be in Ames back at Iowa State, but I don't know what is really going to be there for me. And I was like, I need to get some sort of like community or culture, at least like around me, because I'll go insane if after living like this and going, just being starved of it. And so I one night I was really drunk at London. It's a funny story because it goes along. And I was texting Joseph Farrell. He's a photographer around here. And I told him, I'm like, I need tapped in with music in Des Moines.
Mm-hmm.
And then so he gave me Arthur's number, which was A1. And he FaceTimed me in between of me, like literally throwing up. Like, I swear to God, like I was so drunk. And I just remember being like, I think it was because I might have been.
So it happened like instantly.
It was like, it's like all in one night. So I was like, it was crazy. But I just remember it because it led to what it was. But I remember being like, I need to be tapped in with the music scene. Like, I need to come to Des Moines and like be around artists. I want to just like experience, like be in the same setting. At the time, I was working for Grailed as just like an online administrator. So my like work schedule was very open. I just had to have my laptop, so I could work from anywhere. I was doing the same thing I was doing before I left United States, while I was in London, and when I came back. So that was the one plus. I was just kind of working online, easy, and I got tapped in with Arthur. And so as soon as I came back to Iowa, I linked up with him once, and I brought one of my friends with me who wanted to be a rapper, wanted to rap. And I remember he like pulled me to the side and he's like, no offense to your friends, but like, you got to meet some kids that I have coming over tomorrow. And the kids that came over tomorrow were Trey,
Otto.
Otto, Ethan, and was it just you two, or Juice was, Juice and Germ were there. Yep. And that was that moment right there. Well, it was just all of us kind of had that. We all had that. Yeah, we clicked too well, and I'd say we all had that mindset of like, this is all we want to do, and this is what we're gonna do, and I'd say we all still do, but it's having that group around you that just does the same thing, pushes you, like call you out on your bullshit, like that. Yeah. That's like the group you want to have around when you're I guess chasing that dream and chasing that goal. And after that, I think that's when I started coming to Des Moines about every single day. I wasn't coming. I wasn't going.
You know what's funny is that we was boys. I didn't even know you didn't live in Des Moines.
Yeah, I wasn't going to my classes at Iowa State. That's when I technically failed out. So it's about then, but I was fully focused. I mean, I just go to A1's back when the studio was there, and I'd just be on Grailed while these guys cooked and made music for 6 to 8 hours a day, and it was months and months and months of it.
Months.
And honestly,
popped out to Chicago.
Yeah, we went to Chicago, stayed with Polo Boy Shotty.
Polo Boy Shotty. Shout out Polo Boy Shotty, man.
Tell the Polo Boy Shotty story. Man. You gotta tell
them. This story is crazy actually, because I get a call from Otto, and he's like, "Yo, I don't remember what it was. Polo Boy. We were linking. Yeah, we got a cook session with Polo Boy tonight in Chicago, and bro, I got a spare on my car. I can't make it to Chicago because I was the one driving at the time. I was always driving. And so Otto's like, I know a place. So our Gomez tires got that. Bro, I remember. Yes, bro. And we took the tire because my tire blew the day before. So I just had the spare on it and then the blown tire in the trunk. And if you remember, they couldn't get the rubber off that tire for 45 minutes. They were telling us, they're like, you need to buy the whole rim again. And eventually they just took out a saw and cut the tire off. We're like, all right, straight to Chicago. We were made it just in time. For real, made it just in time. And then
means.
Yeah. And
we didn't even stop anywhere. We drove straight from Iowa to the studio in Chicago.
Yep. And then straight into straight cooking. And then
Hey, you officially a Northsider. If you went to Gomez, then if you know, because you go in there and going out with $40 of a tire, and they gonna work their hardest. Me can't help you, Migo.
Oh no! Shout out them. They were trying. Like they made sure that tire.
They tried. They do this.
We have to go to Chicago. They're probably looking at us like, what the fuck are these kids doing? I think we had like probably $200 too. It's like $80 max we can do. Like,
Man, that's dedication. That's
like,
definitely.
just please, $80. We need gas money to get home.
That's dedication, bro. Like,
Yes.
man,
That's not taking no for
that's
answers.
crazy. Yeah, I know, right? Like, man,
No for answers.
shout out Polo Boy Shawty, man. You know, down there in Chicago. You know,
Oh yeah.
Do you have any drops coming this year?
Yeah. I mean, for GoldenEye, definitely, we'll definitely have some merch. We've only done technically 3 merchandise drops so far. We did our Spell Out crew neck, and we did 50 units of that, sold out. We did the Spell Out T-shirt, did 100 of that, and I think we just have a couple double XLs left. And then we just did tote bags, and we still have plenty of tote bags, but we did plenty of them just to make sure. And if anybody wants one, they can get one. But I know for sure we'll be doing hoodies and T-shirts again this year.
That's important.
Hoodies been asked for a lot, but whenever we do, they go quick. It really does go quick. So yeah, just make sure.
Man, just make sure you bust main top and media with one, Brian, so we could put you on, man.
We got you.
Even though you don't even need put on, but thank you, man.
So,
I got you.
so thank you for
My
coming.
boy
Yeah,
Prada, man. My boy
yeah,
Prada.
tell them where they can find you too, man.
You find me at Lucas Wears Prada on Instagram, and all that. And then you can find me. Well, the stores page is GoldenEye Curations, which is at goldeneye.ia, and then the GoldenEye's website is goldeneyeia.com.
Yo, y'all go get that. He got the drip, whatever y'all want to call it, man. Like
Sauce.
Yeah, the sauce.
Sauce.
The
You know what they
sauce.
say? You don't want the
Drip,
juice.
The drip.
You know what
sauce.
they say? You don't want the juice because the juice runs out fast. The sauce, that
No
stays in the
cap.
fridge. The
No
sauce stays
cap.
in the fridge. The juice
Y'all
runs out. You
can
get the
find
sauce.
Y'all can find him on Southeast Village in Des Moines downtown area. You know, that's where y'all can find him, man. And I want to let y'all know, like, share, subscribe, and y'all, we got that challenge for y'all. If y'all get us to 2
Hit that follow button.
100 subscribers,
Hit that subscribe button.
I'ma shade this man.
Main topic, motherfucking media. Let's go, Prada, nigga.